Tsugikuni, the strongest brothers. The strongest character in Demon Slayer is without a doubt Yoriichi Tsugikuni. Even the first demon, Muzan, got sliced up by him, and several hundred years later, he's still traumatized by the events. Yoriichi had a twin, Michikatsu Tsugikuni, who looked up to him and eventually became jealous of him. Michikatsu, because of that extreme jealousy, chose to become a demon for more power, eventually becoming Kokushibo. Kokushibo stood at the top of the 12 Kizuki as the upper-ranked one for years to come. Because of Yoriichi being such an overpowered character, Michikatsu, during his human years, ended up in the shadows. Today, we'll be looking at what would have happened if Michikatsu never became a demon and instead became a member of the current Demon Slayer Corps. How strong would Michikatsu be? What rank swordsman would he have been? What would happen if he fought the upper-ranked demons? We're going to find out, so stay tuned till the end. There will be a lot of assuming and hypothesizing in today's video. You have been warned. Let's get on with the video. How strong is Michikatsu? There aren't any scenes of Michikatsu fighting demons, so it's hard to figure out exactly how strong he was as a human. Let's look at Kokushibo's backstories and what he says to find out how strong he was. Michikatsu was born in a samurai family during the Sengoku era. Their house was shown to be rather grand, so their family had to be just as powerful. Michikatsu was born as the older twin, so while the younger twin, Yoriichi, was said to cause misfortune and put aside, Michikatsu was raised to inherit the family line. As a child, he was trained by his father's subordinates, and his skills were acknowledged by that guide. Since the guide was hired by such a wealthy family, he had to be fairly capable. So for Michikatsu to be acknowledged by someone so strong meant that he had high expectations. To answer those expectations, Michikatsu made it a goal to become a strong swordsman. However, Yoriichi one day beat the guide in a match, which was quite a shock for Michikatsu. Yoriichi was so strong that he could see the transparent world, and to Michikatsu, Yoriichi's strength was so overwhelming, what he felt wasn't aspiration, but hatred. However, Yoriichi left the house one day and vanished without a trace. After that, Michikatsu became a samurai and was living a peaceful life. That is until his world turned upside down after a demon attack. The one who saved Michikatsu from the demon was none other than the missing Yoriichi. Michikatsu was again engulfed in jealousy, but at the same time, he had the desire to make that power and skill his own. Shortly after, he abandoned his wife and kids and joined the Demon Slayer Corps. He joined not because he wanted to defeat demons, but because he wanted to improve his sword skills. That was how badly he wanted to get stronger. It was because he thought he was stronger, because he was the older twin, that his jealousy went out of control, leading to his obsession with strength and skill. Michikatsu couldn't use the first breathing style, sun breathing, but he created a branching style called moon breathing. Sun breathing was the base for flame, water, thunder, wind, and stone breathing, and there are even more breathing styles branching from those. However, moon breathing doesn't fit with any of them. Moon breathing is slightly different from the rest and is most likely the opposite of sun breathing. It doesn't have the same power as sun breathing, but it's still stronger than the other breathing styles. However, when he encountered Muzan Kibutsuji, Michikatsu was invited to become a demon. To Michikatsu, who couldn't catch up to Yoriichi no matter how hard he tried, having a demon's infinite amount of time was too tempting. Just like he did with his wife and children to join the Demon Slayer Corps, Michikatsu abandoned the Demon Slayer Corps to become the demon Kokushibo. He became a demon not out of desperation for his life, but to become a stronger swordsman. From Kokushibo's data, it was made clear that the moon breathing that he used had up to the 16th form. Out of all the other breathing styles, the most forms the style had was sun breathing's 13th forms. Moon breathing clearly has more forms. Though it's a bit odd to compare the number of forms, Michikatsu had time after becoming a demon, so it must be hard to create even one new form. For Michikatsu to make a total of 16 forms for moon breathing, there's no doubt he has talent. However, from what we could find, only forms 1 through 6 were created while he was human. From the 7th form up, he began using things only demons could do, like using oddly shaped swords, so there's a high possibility that blood demon techniques were involved. He really struggled during his battle against Yoriichi, even though Yoriichi was much older and supposedly more frail. so in order to beat him, he must have created more and more forms on the spot. Choosing to become a demon isn't something to praise, but he is way too obsessed to be able to train for several hundred years. Whenever he was faced with life-changing decisions, Michikatsu always chose the path that will make him stronger. His passion for training and his high-level skills must make him one of the strongest swordsmen in the Demon Slayer Corps' history. Having his skills acknowledged from such a young age, then having the passion to train to get stronger, even if he didn't become a demon, Michikatsu would have been a swordsman with a lot of skill. If he was part of the current Demon Slayer Corps. Next, let's see where Michikatsu would be if he was a member of the current Demon Slayer Corps. In the current Demon Slayer Corps, Yoriichi is no longer around. Michikatsu used his jealousy for Yoriichi as motivation to get stronger. Now that Yoriichi is no longer around, Michikatsu probably has more breathing space. However, Michikatsu's passion for training was strong even before he found out about Yoriichi's power, so there's no doubt he would still be a strong swordsman. It's almost certain he would be a pillar, in which he would most likely be titled the Moon Pillar. What kinds of relationships would he have with the current pillars? The pillars seem to go out for meals together and communicate through their Kasugai crows regularly, but it doesn't seem like they're constantly together. Michikatsu isn't the type to be clingy, so he would probably keep a bit of distance from the others. There isn't any hierarchy among the pillars, but the oldest and strongest member, Stone Pillar Gyomei Himejima, seems to be the unofficial leader. If we need to decide a leader between Gyomei and Michikatsu, then I'll put my vote on Gyomei. My reason is because even when Michikatsu was a demon slayer in the Sengoku era, he wasn't in the center of the group, but on the outside. When he was Kokushibo, he talked so slowly that you basically needed patience to hold a conversation with him, so he probably isn't the type to lead a group. Gyomei doesn't have any scenes that make him stand out as the leader, but when it's really necessary, he slams his hands together to stop the other pillars from arguing. Michikatsu is probably better at supporting Gyomei. Of course, since Michikatsu's passion for training is stronger than anyone else, on top of being able to use moon breathing, he would stand out from the rest of the pillars. Just like Kokushibo looked after Akaza, Michikatsu would have fully supported the younger pillars and the other swordsmen from the shadows. What if he fought the current upper ranks? If Michikatsu fought in the battle against the upper ranks as a human demon slayer, what would have happened? Insect pillar Shinobu Kocho predicted that one upper rank had the power equal to 3 pillars. It took 4 pillars to get up against Kokushibo, but I highly doubt that human Michikatsu would have the same power as Kokushibo. Demons can regenerate when they get cut, but humans, unfortunately, don't have that ability. Kokushibo's crescent moon-shaped blood demon techniques also can't be done as a human. Just having Michikatsu on the pillar side won't give them the advantage against the upper ranks. Nichiren swords can't bend or stretch like Kokushibo's, so as long as Michikatsu is human, he would only be able to use the first 6 moon-breathing forms. As long as the crescent moon shapes aren't created by blood demon techniques, Michikatsu's attack range only goes as far as his sword does. If we take that into consideration, moon-breathing forms might be made out of simple and basic samurai skills. Simplicity isn't a bad thing. On the contrary, it directly reflects the user's strength, and it can be reapplied to different situations. Upper rank 3 Akaza used martial arts to attack, so they might have a good one-on-one battle. Akaza's blood demon technique, Destructive Death, air type, can deal damage far enough that the sword can't reach him. But Akaza is also a brilliant close combat fighter. Their close quarter battle would be incredible. However, Michikatsu would have to be careful of the sword breaking skill, Bell Splitter. Akaza also has a habit of inviting strong people to become demons. Flame Pillar Kyojuro Rengoku and Water Pillar Gyu Tomioka were both invited, so there's no doubt Michikatsu would be too. We just have to pray that Michikatsu won't listen and fight with a strong heart. Michikatsu would have a decent chance of winning against the upper rank 5, Gyoko. Gyoko can teleport between multiple pots, and his fish and water-based attacks are a bit tricky to deal with. But with Michikatsu's skills and experience, he should have little to no problem beating him. However, upper rank 6 Daki and Gyutaro, upper rank 4 Hantengu, and upper rank 2 Doma might be harder to defeat alone, even with Michikatsu's strength. Especially Daki and Gyutaro, since you need to cut off both their heads at once to defeat them. Even if he could get Daki's head with ease, he would need to think about not letting her get it back on while avoiding getting poisoned by Gyutaro's sickles and cutting off his head. Hantengo is also a problem, since even though he's also hiding in a shrunken body, his split personalities get stronger the more trouble he's in. If Michikatsu fights Hantengo alone, even if he defeats the split personalities, the real body would have been long gone. Even worse is Doma. Your lungs get shredded if you breathe in his ice-based blood demon techniques. So to demon slayers who fight with breathing styles, his attacks would be disastrous. Michikatsu is no exception. If he breathes it in, he would be risking his life. On top of that, he can use Crystalline Divine Child to make frozen replicas of himself, create massive ice pillars, and use Rime Water Lily Bodhisattva to make a giant statue. So to fight solo without using a breathing style would be a near impossible feat. Against these demons, Michikatsu would have to cooperate with other pillars to win. Michikatsu, when he fought the Demon Slayer course as Kokushibo, had scenes showing him analyzing Gyomei's breathing style and techniques. In other words, he researches other people's sword skills on a regular basis, so it should be easy for him to work with other pillars. If Michikatsu was on the Demon Slayer course side, the battle against the upper ranks would have been much easier and had fewer casualties. If Michikatsu was in the Demon Slayer Corps, Michikatsu was a person with a deep obsession for strength and skill. Seeing Yorichi's inhuman talent, he didn't break down and give up, but instead strived to be better. If Michikatsu didn't become a demon and instead became a member of the Demon Slayer Corps, it would have been amazing. He could have had a good relationship with the pillars and swordsmen. Unfortunately, because he wouldn't have the blood demon techniques, the unique sword, or the ability to regenerate, the battles against the upper ranks wouldn't be easy. However, if he couldn't beat them alone, he would have the other pillars fighting by his side. Michikatsu would probably be constantly training by himself, but by fighting alongside the other pillars, they would all be able to learn from each other. Now that his stronger brother, Yorichi, is no longer around, Michikatsu doesn't have the jealousy weighing him down. So while fighting alongside the other swordsmen, he can look for his own strength. That's all for what if Michikatsu Tsugikuni was a member of the current Demon Slayer Corps. If Michikatsu was a Demon Slayer, the Corps would have been much stronger. It's a shame that he became a demon. Do you think the final battle would have ended sooner if Michikatsu Tsugikuni was a Demon Slayer? Tell us your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. We have more amazing videos coming up, so subscribe to stay tuned. We'll see you next time.